There are hundreds of moments to choose from, but today I'm gonna make my top 10 list of the biggest I'm him moments in One Piece. Now, making this list was not easy at all. Obviously this Usopp moment is number one, but I found narrowing down my options quite difficult. So this list is following two conditions. Number one, I'm only gonna be including moments that revolve around an individual character instead of a group of characters. So I won't be including any of the Straw Hats' entrances or walks. And number two, I won't be including any moments from the manga, so for you anime onlys, this will be spoiler free. Now before I get into it, I just gotta give an honorable mention to this moment. When my guy Akainu showed off his hairline mid-battle, that was absolutely disrespectful. I mean, bro's in the middle of a war and he's flexing his trim. A lot of people don't like him, and he is made out of lava, but you can't deny he's absolutely cold here. But it just doesn't make it into the top 10. Now for number 10, I got a moment that made me fly out of my seat when I first saw it. When Luffy smashed this mirror in the mirror world to kickstart his fight against Katakuri, I'm sure half of you wet yourselves. This moment was brilliant in demonstrating Luffy's ability as a captain to protect his crew, to cut off his only escape route so he can fight one-on-one against Katakuri with no distractions, and so that the rest of the Straw Hats can remain safe from him, is definitely one of the best moments in the series when it comes to showing just how serious Luffy is when someone messes with his crew. I mean, even after he smashed the mirror, Katakuri knew himself that Luffy is him. Now for number 9, we still in Whole Cake Island. And we got the big fish man, the Riz demon Jinbe, showing absolutely no fear to Big Mom's powers and the situation that he was in, despite being majorly inferior to Big Mom in terms of power, but still telling her to F off in her face in front of her 50-odd children is absolutely cold. Not only was this one of the best character moments in the series, but also in terms of an individual Straw Hat declaring their loyalty to Luffy, this is definitely up there. Only the goats like Buggy can square up to a yonko and tell them to get lost in their face, and Jinbe is one of them. He did it with such elegance and calmness and politeness that, bro, Jinbe is him, man. Now for number 8, not only was it a moment that kickstarted an essential plot point, but it was also a moment where we found out that Law is that guy. When it was revealed to us that his plan was to take down Kaido, the King of Beasts, one of the 4 yonkos, literally everyone, except Luffy, thought this guy was crazy. But when Law made this speech talking to Doflamingo whilst he was slicing up his partner, and the whole lab which was in a mountain, we all found out from that day on that this guy Law is serious. Not only could he talk the talk, but he could walk the walk, unlike some people. Now for number 7, it may be a bit of a controversial one, mainly because of what happened after this moment, but I'm still going to include it because it was absolutely cold. The Marines thought they could block Luffy's path to get to Ace, but Luffy just spat in their faces. When Jinbe threw Luffy over and he just spawned in with this massive log, you knew that he was out for blood. Yes, I know he was way out of his league and he got his ass handed to him by the admirals, but literally in this moment everybody was shocked. Nobody had seen balls this big. Everyone found out that Luffy was that guy. Now this at number 6 just had to be included. Many of you might not appreciate this moment because your ass skipped Skypiea, but I didn't, so I'm gonna include it. Not only did my guy Sanji tank this whole bolt of lightning, but he had the audacity to smoke after it. Bro, what the f? I'll admit that Sanji's a simp for 6 days a week, but for that one day he's him. When it comes to sacrifices, this is one of the best moments in the series. The left wing of the Pirate King stepping up here was absolutely cold. It was definitely one of the most memorable moments. Whole Cake Island had too many cold moments, and Brook facing off against Big Mom is definitely one of them. The thing that makes me put this moment so high is just how unexpected it was. Bro was taking a copy of Big Mom's poneglyph right in front of her and then had the audacity to say that to her face. He didn't even bother to lie about it. We all knew Brook would lose, but he did put up a good fight. And the fact that he managed to get a copy of the road poneglyph too and sleep with a yonko, it just shows how clutch he was. Brook is that guy. It doesn't matter if he's dead, he has the biggest balls I've ever seen. Now at number 4, give me the GOAT, the strongest man in the world, Whitebeard. I mean, everything that he's done at Marineford just screams that he's him. But I'm gonna narrow it down to this moment here. The moment he made Akainu regret his whole life. Of course it was an emotional moment just after Ace's death. But seeing Whitebeard this bloodlusted, oh my days. Akainu was on smoke this whole war, but this is the one moment where he's like, nah, forget that. These two were clashing a lot during the Marineford war, but this moment just tipped the scales. It doesn't matter who you are or how strong you are, if you mess with Whitebeard's family, he will put you in a coffin. He didn't even try to bury Akainu 6 foot under, he went even deeper than that. Now for number 3, we still in Marineford. When Red Hair Shanks aka him stopped the Marineford war just from his presence. It wasn't just the fact that people were afraid and they started questioning why another yonko was pulled up, but it's how he got there. That mysterious aura that was conjured around him the moment he arrived is what makes this moment so much better. How did Shanks get from the New World to Marineford? It doesn't matter, he's him, he can do what he wants. The tension began to rise and blood started to spill even more when Blackbeard arrived with his crew. It was all about to kick off once again, but Shanks just came in like a savior. And just from his threat of challenging anyone in Marineford to a fight, the war had ended. And he didn't ask for Ace and Whitebeard's bodies, he said he's going to take their bodies with him. There were some marine soldiers who opposed, but Sengoku himself gave in and said that it's fine because Shanks is him. This moment made the Shanks hype skyrocket, and without a doubt it's one of the most important moments in the story. Now for number 2, do I even have to say anything for this? Now behold the most satisfying moment in anime history. Remember moment number 10 where I said it was one of the best moments in showing just how serious Luffy is when someone messes with his crew? Well, this moment is definitely number 1. He not only punched a celestial dragon in the face, he tore his face off. There's no word to describe just how badly he banged him in the face. Despite knowing how bad the consequences would be, he didn't even hesitate. Everyone in the room could feel what was coming and they couldn't believe it. This is one of the most realist moments in the series. This scene right here is the biggest I'm the main character moment. But now for number 1, who isn't even the main character. This sacrifice will forever be one of, if not the greatest sacrifices in anime. One of the most loyal and unique characters in anime pulling off the most I'm him moment. When he first joined the crew, Zoro made it clear to Luffy that his only goal is to become the world's greatest swordsman. But then, over time, as Zoro's respect for Luffy accumulated, Zoro then began to attach Luffy's dream to his own. He essentially says that he can't become the world's greatest swordsman if Luffy doesn't become the Pirate King. That is a major requirement for his dream to come true. Another thing that I liked about this moment is the significance that I had during the Marineford saga. Zoro made the sacrifice and took Luffy's pain. And we saw in the next arc that this pain was still affecting Zoro. Now imagine if Zoro hadn't taken all of Luffy's pain. How would have Luffy done what he done at Impel Down and Marineford? Luffy would have been in no condition at all to make his way to Impel Down and Marineford. But through Zoro's sacrifice, it gave him the chance to save Ace. Even though Zoro wasn't with Luffy during the Marineford saga, he still contributed a lot to his captain. And this was the moment that was responsible for that. Zoro had one mission that day to ensure that every one of his crewmates survive, and he pulled that off. It's quite ironic because it's one of the greatest sacrifices and the biggest I'm him moment, but in the end, nothing happened. Now this is the end of my list, so you guys put your top 10 or top 5 lists down in the comments below. I'm gonna end this video here, and I'll see you guys next time.